Welcome to Supply Chain Network Design for Marketing 432 Logistics Strategy. This is Mark Spielis, and today we're going to be covering network design as part of session 24. This is a two-part series. This will be the first part, and we're going to cover some of the elements that make up supply chain network design. Besides or beyond a uptown or a regional or local, we're looking at global considerations on a network design. When we compare supply chain networks to distribution networks, we're focusing on all the different elements within the supply chain networks, including manufacturing. So we'll have an upcoming session where we talk about distribution networks. However, when we talk about supply chain networks, it's inclusive of all the different elements of the supply chain and probably more focused on manufacturing. So what drives supply chain network design? And networks are a set of constraints, so they constrain inventory, transportation, and information. However, these networks are used for a couple of purposes. Number one, to decrease supply chain cost or to increase customer responsiveness. So both networks are put in place for both of those reasons. Network design have four major decisions. They include, number one, facility role. So what is the role of facility? Is it a cross dock? Is it used to improve service? Is it storage? What specific functions are performed at each one of the facilities within a network? Second is a facility location. Where should the facility be located to best optimize cost or increase customer service? Capacity allocation. How much capacity should be allocated to each facility? So we know we've got locations of facilities, but how much capacity is allocated to each one of them? We know we need a distribution center in one area. Well, how much capacity, how large should that distribution center be? Then lastly, market capacity. Which markets should each facility serve, or supply chain sources? This can be serving a market by providing a product to a market or placing a manufacturing facility to best take advantage of your supply chain sources. So it could be either one of these when we refer to market allocation. Let's look at an example of each of these. So facility role could include what goes on at the facility. One manufacturing strategy that's being used by automotive manufacturers, but not just automotive manufacturers, is flexible production. And this enables one facility to service multiple markets. So it may be designed to serve local markets. However, it's flexible enough to serve geographic markets overseas or global markets. So a facility location takes a lot of time and energy. It's a huge capital investment, and it takes a lot of planning and resources to put in a facility location. So it's an important decision. This is one of those strategic decisions. So a location, as an example, another example is Toyota. They have put in locations here in the U.S., manufacturing locations, to help offset currency fluctuations from possibly the yen or from other manufacturing sites globally. And this is a tactic that's being used by a lot of manufacturing companies today to help offset currency fluctuations. Facility capacity allocation. And in this example, we look at both supply sources and markets. The example here is Caterpillar. Caterpillar locates globally. They have hundreds of sites globally. However, they've expanded into China recently, both because of the growth of building and infrastructure in China, as well as the fact that they have sources there as well. So it's both from a supply source perspective, as well as your market, your customer market. and the capacity allocation affects production, inventory, and transportation costs. So again, market allocation, it's both suppliers as well as customers. Then we look at facility market allocation. The example I like to use is Amazon. So Amazon is currently expanding. As some of you know, there are fulfillment centers throughout the U.S. and they're doing that at a really rapid pace. And as you can see by this map of the U.S., the expansion dots of red are their new fulfillment centers that have been built in 14 and 15. And so these new fulfillment centers are being built for a couple of reasons: to be able to provide same or next day service to their markets. And as you can see, they're positioning these new service centers really close to their customer markets. But it's also being done to reduce costs, to get closer to the markets, to reduce transportation costs. This ends Supply Chain Network Design, the first part of a two-part series. Again, if you've got questions, feel free to reach out to me, and we'll cover the second section of this in the next podcast for 24. Make it a great day.